Hello and welcome to some more.
Oh, don't worry about that. Bear with me 1 minute. Rawr, that's the sound of a bear with me. Right. Oh my god. So many emails and things to catch up on. Apologies. I'm going to press this button. Hopefully that'll be my beautiful face. It is. How is everyone doing? I hope you're doing all right. It is a day in the week. It's Thursday. I don't normally stream on Thursdays. Madness. I thought I'd stream today because I'm away tomorrow and for the rest of the weekend at a board game convention just down the road from me, but I do want to sort of have a weekend off. I did have a few days off the other week as well as part of sort of my birthday celebration and Zin's birthday celebration, but that wasn't relaxing really. That was, I needed to relax from that holiday. You know when you get back from a holiday, when you get back from being away from home, you're like, oh, I'm so tired, I've got so much to do. And that's basically the state I was in when I got back. So having a couple, at least Friday, Saturday off, maybe the Sunday as well. That said, Friday morning, so tomorrow morning, I may very well quickly do a Inside Star Citizen summary because that's not too time intensive or anything. Watch Inside Star Citizen, talk about it, and then edit a video together real quick. Yes, if you'd like to ask a question during the live stream, question in brackets. And then I'll hopefully be able to root it out from what may well be a load of questions. Let's hope. Oh, Robert Johnston, thank you very much. Oh, you beautiful boy. He's giving away 5 memberships on the BoredGamer on my YouTube. That is genuinely appreciated. So I hope you're doing well. I hope everyone's doing well, but more you, Robert Johnston, because you're giving me money effectively. Oh, that means I do like you more. So, interesting things are afoot. Obviously, 3.18, its live release, not the best. A little bit disastrous. It is alpha for a reason, but I mean, it's also a live service / game that Clan Imperium did not expect to entirely break with the 3.18 live build. They've been working on 3.18.1, which is about to go live. I've been saying that for over a week, but it is true. It's going to go live as soon as it's ready. It's in PTU. Well, is it? Because 3.18.2 is about to go into PTU before 3.18.1 is actually gone to live, which is madness. It's just Cloud Imperium saying, look, we've got all the test data we need for 3.18.1. It's been tested thoroughly through the PTU. We're now just doing some final checks and some stuff that we can do internally and load testing and things like that before we make that patch go live. So we're actually going to push 3.18.2, the next set of fixes and things that we've got planned, onto the PTU so people can test that now and help us with it. Makes sense. Also makes sense because Clan Imperium are trying to push 3.19 ASAP. I say ASAP. 3.19 is part, effectively, of the 3.18 branch. They haven't branched off into its own sort of code base or anything like that. It is 3.19 in name only. So sort of bear that in mind. That should mean we have a lot more refined patches the rest of the year until 4.0 or whatever. What do you think will be new this Fleet Week? So likely going to be a load of the same old stuff, which isn't bad. So you have your expo hall, you have your free fly, you have your combat ships, you have your Drake defense con at the end of the week. You'll have some stuff to do like the javelin tour. You'll be able to see the UE fleet flying around. Maybe there'll be some more ships with that, but typically they have the Bengal carrier. Hopefully that's in a even better state now. But like javelins and or at least a javelin flying around, Idris flying around. No, so Hexadus Live, you are out of luck if you think that 3.18 will be good enough to play once your college project finishes at the end of May, because we will have 3.19 by then and Fleet Week. That is the idea from Clan Imperium. They want 3.19 in on or before Fleet Week. So, a very short 3.18 cycle, although, as I said, functionally, 3.19 is still part of 3.18. It's an interesting one, eh? It's a bit weird. But yes, hopefully Star Citizen will be in a very good state then again. At least a lot better. Robert Johnston, the bigger FPS tractor beam scares me. The idea of FPS devolving into people throwing ships at each other and so immersion breaking. Yes, totally get what you mean. That won't happen in the way that you think it will. They showed off you them grabbing a small ship with the tractor beam messing around with it. It's not going to be like that. It's not going to be like that at all. There are going to be a huge amount of factors affecting the strength of a tractor beam. Multiple people could potentially move a ship, and it would look heavy when they were moving it with those personal tractor beams, the larger personal tractor beams. But it's not just going to be able to go boop, boop, and move stuff around madly. Okay, I'll bet money on that. Clan have talked about it very briefly, saying, "Look, this was just for show." And even in 3.18, 3.19, 3.19, they've increased the power of the tractor beam temporarily. I think the multi-tool tractor beam. So bear that in mind. That's not going to be able to pick up ships in 3.18 or anything. So I think you're right to be concerned. Clan Imperium were already fully aware that that's not what they want to do. Do not worry too much. Obviously, 3.19 brings the reason they're increasing the power of the multi-tool tractor beam is because you're going to have attach abilities. So you can grab up to size 6 guns off ships and then place them on another ship. Take them off their ports, bam, scavenge them, salvage them. The same with internal components that are visible. Same up to size 2 components, so it'll be size 0, 1, and 2. You can move. Yeah. But fair worry. Good question. Mm. I think a lot of people are looking forward to 3.19 more, just because 3.18 was such a effective letdown. People not being able to play, and people not enjoying the various Alpha UEC exploits in 3.18 as well, which have now necessitated almost certainly a wipe 3.18.1. So bear that in mind. I do talk about that in today's video, which will go live as soon as I stop streaming. Because I think it's interesting about exploits, like, should you be punished for using an exploit? What constitutes an exploit? Are all exploits the same in sort of weight of you shouldn't do that or whatever? How should you then reveal exploits and bug report them? You don't want them to be public knowledge necessarily. Is it okay to make guides on exploits? Is it okay to shine a light on exploits? Is it loads of stuff like that? Because my opinion is, well, I talk about exploits in a news fashion, but I wouldn't have a guide on how to do that exploit. Do you know what I mean? And I think it's important for Clan Imperium to know that there are exploits, but they probably do. But is there another level of protection that you could give for an exploit for the issue council, so not everyone can see it, but you want everyone to see it because it's the issue council? Or is it just irrelevant because it's an alpha and you want all this stuff to be known and get fixed? Like, it's... Oh. That is a good point. It's not 100% that they will wipe because of exploits, and I'm not sure if they have previously either. They typically wipe out of necessity. That is true. But I do think it's more likely that there will also now be an Alpha UEC wipe with 3.18.1, even though there wasn't originally supposed to be. That is not a confirmation. It's just I think it is now more likely. Robert Johnston! Oh my god! Thank you very much for the donation. That's huge. Good. I can get to sleep then. Keep the noise down, please. Good night. Robert Johnston, I love you. Thank you so much. That's genuinely appreciated. I will do, at some point, a stream where you don't need to sleep. I'll do a stream at your time, and we will work that out at some point. We'll do like a monthly or more likely quarterly Robert Johnston stream. No worries, mate. Thank you so much. Genuinely appreciated. Great support of the channel, like financially. Just chucks loads of money at us. And tells me to F myself. It's genuinely appreciated. Thank you so much. Didn't CIG say they wanted people to use exploits so it's a lot simpler for them to debug and find them? I don't remember them specifically saying that. They may well have. They obviously want people to report stuff on the issue council. So an exploit or bug is a thing, right? I think there's a problem with it being a little bit of a sensitive subject. Like, some people are like, oh, it's naughty. So naughty. Bear with me 1 second. I need to add something to my things to do this. Just remembered. I was getting. So I had loads of problems with eBay doing weird stuff, and I've now had got to edit a video because there's a timing problem. Did remove outro. It's got incorrect information on an outro, which is annoying. Right. At least said destroy the world. Perfect. Yeah, it is alpha. It is alpha at the end of the day. I'm very much offensive on a lot of this stuff, which is basically don't glorify things that break the game or exploits that sort of can ruin loads of other people's fun, like huge alpha UVC exploits or whatever. But I would happily use an exploit to get into a javelin or a Bengal or something like that to steal it for content, right? How does wiping credits help development? Fair point. Well, it depends on what they want to test. Like if they want to test everyone sort of starting at the same level, yeah, and how that works and metrics from that. We don't know exactly what metric data they're after, but I would say exploits do change stuff occasionally. NZ, thank you very much for becoming a board citizen. That's genuinely appreciated, sir. Salute to you. That's a little salute. That's what I do. What else have we got here? If you'd like to ask a question in brackets helps me actually identify it as a question. Otherwise, I'm much more likely just to roll over. Cheating's very different from exploiting, in my opinion, normally. And there are probably things that sort of collides a bit more, but you're always going to get cheaters in any game that has any form of client authoritative nature, or people will still try anyway from all points of view. Also, there's always going to be gold sellers and things like that in games. When is the free play? So free play is as soon as 3.18's branch is in a better state to play. Yeah, as soon as it's stable. And that could be with 3.18.1, and that could be with 3.18.2. Expect it within the next couple of weeks. You can also probably expect them to run a dynamic event at the same time, probably jump down 2.1. You had some furious typing from me, yes. It's because I got a load of random stuff. It's a board game, as in playing on board, not a board gamer convention. My mates run one called Shake Battle and Roll, and it's fantastic. Get to play board games, which are one of my favorite things to do. 3.18.1 is open PT at the moment. It's not live, but it should be live pretty soon. How do you feel about the pessimism around development speed? Do you think CIG will be able to increase the rate of feature development? So they are working on a lot of stuff simultaneously, and there's obviously a lot of development work going in that we don't actually see practically in our hands. And they are producing a good amount of new content every so often that gets into our hands. Development speed, yeah, it's slow, and when features move around, it's disappointing. But I am typically pretty bullish and positive. I do like what Cloud Imperium do with the project. I do like the news and videos they put out. I like the project sort of warts and all, even the more drama sort of bits that happen. I was already fully aware of how slow and changey things would be. What kind of games are you looking forward to at the board game convention? I love Ark Nova, which is sort of like a build your own zoo game. Foundations of Rome, because I haven't played with my copy yet, which is this giant box of a game where you sort of, it's really simple. You sort of pull it out and it's immediately ready. You don't have like any setup for it, and you sort of have to buy lots of land and place buildings there is the idea. And it's super simple game, really overproduced, really good looking. What else? Potentially Spirit Island, which is a very hard co-op game. It's sort of like a settler destruction game, sort of anti-building. Your sort of spirits in an island, lots of different spirits to choose from. Very cool game. What else? Ruins of Arnak, Encyclopedia, which is sort of like a more complex wingspan from a company that's now out of business. So there's very few games in circulation, I suppose, or mostly out of print. Loads of others as well. Like my mates will try and get me to play Terraforming Mars, and it takes so long. I'm pretty good at Terraforming Mars. So the games I play board game wise, I'm very good at analysing how to get points and win, and how well other players are doing. So how to affect their score to lower theirs and raise mine. Sort of try and win. So I go, I'm third, or I'm second. I need to get your score lower and my score higher, and sort of bear that in mind. So I'm good at working out how to distribute points to myself to win in most games. Obviously, if someone's a lot more experienced than me at it, and I'm not, so I'll try and learn. But I'll also try and rally everyone against that person. There's things like Blood on the Clock Tower, which is effectively a more complicated werewolf or mafia, I don't know, whatever people call it now, sort of traitors game. Other things, Battlestar Galactica or Unfathomable, which is one of the more classic traitor games. Loads of board games, loves board games. And typically I'm happy to learn sort of anything that other people have got. Endeavour as well as another one. Age of Sail. Absolutely love that. How do you feel about, as we talked about that a minute ago, I've been playing 3.18 a lot and have a huge collection of FPS weapons and gear from missions and such. Should I sell this before 3.18.1? Yes. So Cloud Imperium said there's most certainly going to be an item wipe, so better to sell that stuff. There could be an Alpha UC wipe as well, so sort of bear that in mind. What else have we got? Boo, 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 boo. As they stated, all items gonna be wiped except Alpha UC and Reputation. Can we expect to have all our hangout items back, subscribe stuff, Christmas event stuff? So anything that's attributed to your account, so part of on the RSI website, and promo items, stuff you bought with real money, that all stays. Or will get reset so that you have it again if for some reason lost it. So what will 3.18.2 fix? We don't know for sure. So the set of fixes and everything they've got for 3.18.1 at the moment, they've sort of nailed down. They're like, bam, we just need to do some load testing and a couple of other things we can do internally, and then we can get that out. So in the meantime, we're also now going to test 3.18.2 with another set of fixes and things, but we don't know exactly what's in that. It is likely to be steps towards them releasing 3.19, which is what they sort of said. Any idea if there will be Atmo jetpacks in game? So there will be some way of surviving ejecting in atmosphere. Okay, so that might be parachutes, that might be jetpacks or whatever. Obviously, we have EVA packs for moving around in space, which are functionally jetpacks, sort of. We just can't use them in atmosphere. There could be little jump packs or jetpacks. That's a possibility. Don't know. Maybe. Come to Brazil. What's your prediction for what's your prediction for 2023? So, Clan Imperium have basically said that they're trying to get pyro and jump points out ASAP, and that server meshing is not so much of a priority compared to that. So, that might mean we see 4.0 by the end of the year, but we'd have server meshing light or no server meshing or steps towards server meshing, but we'd have pyro and jump points. So that looks to be where we're going to be by the end of the year. That's my sort of prediction. Clan Imperium might be talking a lot more about release dates or stuff like that. Maybe for Squadron 42 some updates there, because there's a lot of chapters now getting completed according to the roadmap tracker and stuff like that as well. Obviously 3.19 I think is going to be we'll probably have that until at least the end of the year. And we'll probably see things like bounty hunting 2.0 and stuff like that, and salvage munching. It's possible 3.18.1 comes out for this weekend. More likely early to mid next week now, but we'll have to wait and see. With tractor beams coming soon, do you think we'll see any more news on ships that are reliant on that tech? Like the GATAC Rylan. So not the Rylan specifically, just because I think that that's going to require a bit more work. But yeah, Hull C, I think that's actually going to be released pretty soon. The SRV, I think they've been working on that. So lots of ships are going to be using tractor beams, even like the Cutlass Black, right? And the Starfarer. BoredGamer, where did the name come from? I'm actually pretty good at branding. I've got a brain for advertising and branding. So I was thinking of names. Originally, I wanted to do board games and computer games for my channel. How would you go about making a WoW-style raid as a fleet battle in Star Citizen? How do you measure success? Well, you could just do it so that you'd have beacons that you travel to, which would functionally be each part of the raid, right? It's effectively staged. You go here, do this, and you might have to clear some of the ships and get some data, and then go to the next service beacon. So you do it stepped service beacons, and then have the boss be either a very powerful ship, or a base or set of ships, or that you'd have to assault something, a mixture of sort of combined arms. Loads of ways you could do it. Do you expect another big wipe for 3.19 for 4.0? Only if necessary. It's especially now with potentially not as much server meshing for that, they might not need to wipe at all. What's your take on Scythe, the board game? I've never really played it. I've tried to play it a couple of times. I sort of started learning it and realised I liked other sort of Euro and Coin or whatever the hell type of game it is more. Obviously, it's a combat light game. You don't necessarily need to fight. It's I could tell. I haven't played it much. It didn't super interest me. With all those features you showed finished in March of the video yesterday, what is the process CIG uses to implement the finished features to a live build? So Some of those features will go into Squadron 42 game dev branch and then be iterated upon there before coming to a Persistent Universe build. Others will are more features that they'd already gone through that process and they're just refining for the Persistent Universe. It's different for every feature. Any news on when character customization will come? They've actually been working a lot on character customization. You can expect them to do it in stages and sort of keep on updating it. Don't know when the next update will be. Probably see some additional updates to it this year, though. Yeah, some people want a clean slate with 3.18.1. Other people are sort of like, meh, well, let's sort of keep what we've got, or it doesn't even matter. Have you ever played Battletech? So I played, obviously, I love MechWarrior, Battletech, that sort of stuff. Have not played the tabletop game of Battletech. I'm interested in the current Kickstarter for it, though. Favorite mech? I love the catapult. Because I've nostalgia for that when I was playing like Mech Commander and stuff. I used to love getting a catapult for that. I use Hunchbacks loads just because I think they're super cheap and functional and useful for what they are. You can do a lot with a Hunchback. Centurions are cool. Like I shy away from like the heavier mechs. I like lots of medium and a couple of heavy mechs sort of thing. What else have we got? Broad, years, and I mean years ago, your videos brought me into Star Citizen, and the information you bring has always been great. My question is, are you planning to maybe do updated ship reviews? Yes, definitely the plan. I keep on wanting to do it, and I go, oh yeah, we'll do it now, and then I look and go, oh, maybe we should wait for physicalized components, or the resource management system, or more balance. So yes, I might do it in the short term, but then we'll have to do it again in the medium term. I would like long chain quests and story quests, but is that even possible to go to 50+ systems? Or yeah, it's easier for them as long as they have good modular parts for the quests and how they sort of work and sort of generate. They've got more space to do more, because you only need to have really interesting sort of sections for the quests, then have loads of variants to them, and then just modularly slot them together, right? That's what the mission system's supposed to be. What would you see them show or talk about at CitizenCon? Well, we don't know for sure yet. I think there might be some Squadron 42 stuff. I think there's going to be a lot of dynamic universe simulation stuff. So them talking about, look, this is how the AI are going to function. Loads of stuff on Pyro. I think we're going to be very close to Pyro. And then they're going to show off a load of new sort of gameplay for that. Probably like salvage munching and new updates to bounty hunting. And there's a huge amount of gameplay stuff they can probably do for that. I would expect to see a gameplay demo of a load of that new short-term accessible, soon-to-be released content, because they're going to be back on a physical stage, right? Do you think we will see ships like the Expanse shortly due to tractor beams coming online? I think we're going to see some tractor beam ships. Maybe not the Expanse. I think the SRV, yeah. Will we ever get some cargo missions? Yep. So at the moment, you're seeing things like salvage contracts being brought to 3.19, but expect them to do that for sort of cargo delivery missions. Sort of you take control of the cargo ship and have to deliver something. They just want you to bring a certain amount of cargo to an area so you can get that cargo anywhere you want and bring it. Or, yeah, can you take this cargo, bam, from here to here, haul it, multiple hauls, lots of stuff like that as missions. If a medical bed hurt really bad to use and made you scream in pain, would you still use it? Well, if I needed medical attention, yes. When control services arrive, do you foresee them needing to redesign atmospheric landing areas? Given the current Atmo flight model is just space like with a bit of drag. There is going to be updates and changes to that. We know they want to. There's going to be a mixture of. They've been going more and more down the hangar route, haven't they, recently, with less sort of landing pads. I think VTOL's still going to be a big thing, right? Any thoughts on what we might see in Inside Star Citizen today? So what do we have listed for it at the moment? Inside Star Citizen, all sprint report. It's going to be loads of little bits for 3.18.2 and 3.19. So you're going to see lots and lots and lots of bits of work on that Lorville stuff, Arena Commander stuff, Tractor Beam stuff, lots of bits like that. Yeah, what else we got? Any rainstorms, weather effects being worked on? I would expect so. Almost certainly. I haven't specifically seen weather as a feature being worked on for a while. I haven't looked, so. Cool, if we could save a nav point and have meeting places for teams, like bases and things, that will be a thing. So they are working on new star map, they are working on mini maps, they are working on being able to save locations, travel to locations, things like that. Will there be an Easter sale on starter ships? There may well be, around at the same time, a free fly, which would probably have a starter ship sale. Do you think CIG are using the wrapper of Squadron 42 to develop core features for both games to shield them from the community so they don't get bogged down by fixes and live maintenance? I mean, partly. I mean, they are sort of functionally doing a lot of that, right? Lion's share of the development goes into Squadron 42, and they try to refine features in Squadron 42 game dev before putting it to Persistent Universe. Will it be possible to lock your ship from being scrapped, like having weapons and components on? Yes, by default they are locked. They have to be either in soft destruction state or you unlock them. People can still salvage you as soon as your shields are down, though, I believe. Does CIG have a plan for derrick ships floating around Port Olisar, for example? This is an increasing problem with the Persistent Universe thing. Kills FPS as well. That's a good question. Yeah, you don't want concentrations of these around places where people can spawn them, right? So, I mean, there is a solution partially there, which is once they get to a certain amount, the system automatically cleans up the older ones. They obviously want in-game solutions, trying to encourage players to salvage those or get rid of them. Expectations for Triggerfish, some silly stuff. They've done a load of random stuff before, right? They've done flat planets. They've done the smell of the stars, perfume, things like that. The Origin 404. Looking forward to the Santok UI and 3.19 specifically engineering. Thoughts on both? Santok UI potentially could be in game pretty soon, right? And that medium Xi'an fighter. 3.19 we know is supposed to be in our hands sort of like by the end of May, as part of sort of Fleet Week or just before. Looking forward to that. Loads of cool features. 3.19 engineering, obviously, and all of that stuff with the resource management system. That's coming later. Might see it later this year, but it's not going to be in the initial 3.19 launch. I think that we'll see the Argo SRV at some point during the 3.19 cycle, for sure. Does Bounty Hunting V2 or any Bounty Hunting updates have the chance to make it into 3.19? Yes, potentially. So they are working on Bounty Hunting updates, and we know that there's... I think that Bounty Hunting V2 will be in the 3.19 cycle if it's not in the 3.19 initial launch. That will sort of like be deeper bounty hunting missions, some cool new stuff with that tracking of bounties that will get sort of updated as they get seen by comrades and players and other ships. My little Chris Roberts, making sure I'm all right. How you doing, Boards? I've not been around so long. Malefic Gaming. I'm doing well. Thank you very much. Hope you're doing all right, sir. So we got. Will we ever see a space abattoir or processing hunted animals and sell meat to whammers? Maybe there might be genuinely might be quests for that sort of stuff for hunting and things like that. And we did see previously sort of like what potentially looked like a legal organ harvesting and maybe a bit of cannibalism going on and with grills in one of the outposts that Clan Imperium have shown. With Playmate Orgs, do you think CIG are going to create a link between them and in-game functionalities? Yes. Don't know exactly how it's going to work, but they want to have stuff with Spectrum and all that sort of stuff, be able to link and communicate with orgs and in-game, and I suspect you'll be able to organise and do a lot of stuff like that. I just want them to put in some short-term org features, like being able to see your org at a glance, being able to do some org wars, being able to share ships, things like that. Oh, so useful. Are there any imaginative features that you think would be awesome, but might not be realistic? Yeah, I mean, so, okay. Generally, Clan Imperium are trying to make a fun, gamified game over a physically super realistic game. So they'll do a bit of physics, they'll do a bit of realism, but they want it to be gamified and fun beyond over anything else, or at least fun over everything else. And they don't mind gamifying it to do that. So a lot of the features are going to fall within that spectrum closer to gamified than they are realistic, right? At least that's what I think. When will the next meaningful gameplay loop addition come to the game? 3.19. Lots of cool stuff with 3.19, right? Master modes in this year. So master modes are already in. The addition to master modes and the big update to master modes, sort of changing the way that the flight model works when we've got SCM versus nav mode. Sort of no shields when you're in nav mode, but you can quantum travel, versus being able to do combat shields weapons but not being able to go fast. Yeah, it's very possible they want to get it in this year. They want to get those updates in. What else we got? May Chris be with you. Will Alpha UEC be wiped now that some light has been shed on Money Glitch? So I talked about it in today's video, which is going to go live in about 10 minutes. So it is much more likely than previous that an Alpha UEC wipe will now occur. Right? Or Clan Imperium could target the people that have glitched, potentially. So it's more likely, but it's not confirmed yet. When do you think we will see external wear to go over armor and such, as well as capes, robes, and cloaks? They're working on those things, and we know they've got some quite good tech with rope and cloth simulation as well. Expect to see it at some point. Don't know exactly when. Will the Antares get nerfed after the sale? Did you get one? So I will be upgrade. Totally forgot. At some point, I'll upgrade my Scorpius to an Antares because I like it more than the original Scorpius. It's definitely going to have the quantum dampening and EMP stuff balanced at some point because that stuff's not fully realised in game properly. That's what I'll say. And that might be a mixture of a nerf and a buff. It's going to be different. Did CIG explain if, since they are linking cockpit and helmets together, you can have custom settings that carry over in all ships? So I believe that they are going to have the ability to save some ship settings. I'm not sure if that's going to carry over to all ships. And so bear that in mind. We don't have all the information there yet at all. Is because a good enough reason for the Chris Roberts head in this case? Yeah, because I can't even point at him. It's got like a special power. Do you get frustrated covering this game due to the infinite development process? Well, it's not infinite. It's just not finished yet. That's not the nature of Infinity. That would be madness. However, I enjoyed the Project Warts and all and covering the game and news, so I don't get frustrated with that at all. It's annoying with like 3.18's release where it was just a buggy, broken release, they literally broke their own game. That was frustrating because I wanted to play with people, and I was able to play much more functionally on the PTU before they released it to live. So that was like, ugh. They get disappointed and stuff when things are delayed. It's a long process for the development. That is the major drag of Star Citizen for sure. But I sort of love the project, warts and all. What is going to be the purpose of the research telescope variant of the Endeavour? So expect it to sort of be able to be used for science missions, for getting science data, for spotting potentially anomalies and things that you might be able to travel to. It's quite a lot they could do with that telescope on the Endeavour. If you don't have a salvage ship, can I ask someone to spawn it in for me and use it? Will it spawn if I use it? No, you can use it. If they reclaim it, I think it might be classified as a stolen ship, though. Which current existing ship will be turned into the space garbage truck for space janitors to haul off space trash? What's a viable? No, you could use anything for it. You could use a cutlass, or maybe people will use something like a nomad. Who knows? Nomad would look cool with a load of trash in the back, right? Cool. What is holding back the release of motorcycles? They want to update the ground physics for wheeled ground vehicles. But I would expect that to actually be done pretty soon. Sandok Yai, God Tier Fighter, or Flying Pancake? Don't know yet. We don't know. The Xi'an fighters, we're not really sure exactly how they're going to be functionally different, and once they're balanced and once they have all the flight model stuff done compared to the rest of the ships, right? They're going to be flying very differently. We know that. They're going to be sort of more strafey and maneuverable like that. But when do you think we'll be getting data missions and what they'd be like? So data as cargo and data missions could have just part of it being hack something, get a USB stick, lots of stuff they could just do as part of basically the current mission system. Data as cargo, I mean, literally just that, just using a UI to place cargo effectively in, which is your hard drives. Pretty simple. That's the first iteration. That's exactly what I'd expect. I think we'll ever get to make our own kit bash ugly ships. So I think we're going to see, obviously, ship jacked and sort of smashed up ships in like Squadron 42 and probably eventually in the verse, but I don't know if we'll be able to own them. I don't know. It's weird because will they just keep that sort of stuff in Squadron 42? Stuff make it into the persistent universe? We will make it into the persistent universe. Then does that mean players can steal them? So literally ships with other bits of other ships stuck to them. Maybe. Hatsune Miku, thank you so much. Hello again, Bored. Hope you're doing well. Do you think we'll see Pyro this year? I genuinely do. I think now with Clan Imperium saying, look, we might we're going to prioritize Pyro and jump points over server meshing, so that 4.0 might just be server meshing light or no server meshing or steps towards server meshing, but will be Pyro. I do think that's very likely we'll see it, even if it's just on the PTU by the end of the year. Thanks so much for becoming a BoredGamer member. That's genuinely appreciated. Sketch Therapy, happy birthday. It was my birthday very recently, 4 days ago. You have been a good boy. All of Texas should add up to about $1. Don't spend it all in one place. No fun. Thanks, Sketch Therapy. I appreciate that. Happy older Jono. Thank you very much. I appreciate the big donation there. Thank you so much. That's very, very, very generous, very kind of people. Oh, you stars. Thank you. I do appreciate all the kindness from everyone. We get lots of kind messages and get lots of money. People chuckle at me. So it's very much appreciated. BoredGamer looks like a very pale goblin and my cousin. I'm going to go spend some time in the mirror. Okay. Thanks. I will take whatever I can get. Goblins are sexy, right? When alien life gets added, do you think we might see a menagerie module for a ship that can bring our favourite critters across the system? Yes. Something like that is almost certainly going to be available because they have goldfish and things. Also, I would expect the ability to be able to capture animals animals as pets were supposed to be a thing. So they talked about a while ago having places with different atmospheres and different atmospheric containers and terrariums or whatever that you could keep pets in or animals in, and that you try and get them to another area. So they might need their own atmosphere, right? How excited are you for the new star map? It is something that is essential. We need new star map, mini maps, all that sort of stuff. Ability to navigate better, ability to save locations. Say, let's go here and sort of share a waypoint. Oh, how good, eh? First time you're seeing a face with a camera. Hello, I'm a beautiful boy. You expect there will ever be a flat planeting game? No! Not even as an Easter egg. There might be like plans that when they were trying to build the sort of like artificial planets, whether they had a plan for a flat one, there might be something like that as an Easter egg. And with all of us being gamers to our core, are there any features that would reawaken your inner kid in you? I don't know. Star Citizen does quite a lot of cool stuff. Nothing I can specifically think of. I mean, so gaming moments that really have me are Half-Life, the intro with the tram. Now, Star Citizen do silly trams, right? So that does it for me. It's nostalgia. Will the Odyssey be on sale in Fleet Week? Probably. We don't know for sure, but it's a load of combat ships, a load of military ships, and a load of logistics or that type of ship. So maybe. Do you think it is excusable that the game's performance is still in a state after a decade of development? What? Does it? Okay. Outside of 3.18's terrible release recently, the performance of Star Citizen is pretty fucking good compared to what it used to be, right? Like it's reasonable. 3.17.5, very viable performance on a big scale of systems. And it's getting better. Not like single digits or just very low double digits anymore. It's a reasonable game. It's very unoptimized still, but not awful. Since they started charging sales tax, does that mean we're purchasing items instead of pledging for the game? Yes. Not pledges anymore. Well, I don't see them as pledges anyway. Need to redefine that and just check what it is. But I would say that we're actually buying digital items, right? What else? What's the latest on our hangers? You need to be more specific with that. We do know that they are working on player customizable persistent apps. We don't know the full details of that. Is it something we might see later this year? Yes, that is possible. But we don't have much more information at the moment than that. When is Fleet Week? It looks like it's going to start on the 20th of May. Not 100% confirmation, but there was a sneak peek and had that on the sign. The video of Reclaimers racing. Yeah, it was in an Inside Star Citizen. They were talking about the racing tracks. What are your thoughts on forced multiplayer gameplay locked behind different seats? I like the idea of multi-crew. Once we have NPC crew and AI modules, none or very little will be forced multiplayer. Well, everything's forced multiplayer because it's a multiplayer universe, right? But you will be able to run at least definitely smaller ships and potentially even large capital ships just with yourself and an NPC crew. Procedural tech appears to be all over Star Citizen. Procedurally assisted at the very least, yeah. Do you think it could also be integrated into ship pipeline to help count large capital ships? So they do automated testing and stuff like that with it, but no, not. They might have some variants of the way like NPCs and stuff act and things like that, and wear and tear. That can be done like that, but I don't think they can do any more procedural additions that will make capital ships come faster. Different sort of level of tech. With the introduction of Vulkan, is there any other possibilities of other optimizations that work? So Vulkan should make it a lot more optimized for a lot more people at a larger scale, even with the first sort of integration, which I'm expecting in 3.19. How will the links be different from the Urza? Expect it to be sleeker, faster, high tech. We don't really 100% know beyond that. It's sort of the P72 compared to the P52. Will there be base building with walls, floors, stairs, or will it be a unit placement? We don't know for 100% sure. It may be a mixture of the two. We know it's changed and we know it's expanded out a lot, but we don't know exactly what base building is exactly going to allow us to do. Are you more of a Trekker or Star Wars fan? More of a Star Trekker. I like Star Trek. I'm not a fan of Star Wars. Don't hate it, just don't love it. I want my homestead in an asteroid. Can you pull some strings and make that? It's supposed to be asteroid bases. It's supposed to be asteroid hangars, right? I think that's still probably going to be a thing. Maybe. Where's the Banning Merchant one? Expect to see more on it at CitizenCon and later this year. We know that 13 people were working on it and have been for a while. What are the odds of floating ships making it into the game? Will there be buoyancy? So they're working on stuff like that for buoyancy and even swimming at the moment, but some level of water exploration. There might be stuff that's focused water, sort of boats or whatever. I think they've got some stuff like that for Squadron 42. Right. With PES, persistent energy streaming, will they have a type of cleanup some items? So yes, so each individual set of items, like groupings of items, they have saturation levels where the system will then clean up the oldest ones once they hit that saturation, and they'll be doing more with that as well. They're also going to try and sort of encourage players to clean up items where possible too. Do we know if any new ship manufacturers will be introduced in the 5 years? Almost certainly we'll see some new ship manufacturers at some point. Will the Pioneer be on sale at Fleet Week? It's combat ships, logistic ships, and military ships, so maybe. It's not. Sometimes they expand it out a bit more. Do you think there will be a secret power some players can work to achieve? Force Jedi stuff? No. There might be some cool items and equipment, but nothing that will make your character functionally better. Sort of like outside of, you're not going to be a Jedi. You might maybe get something that looks a bit like a lightsaber, though. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the Hull C. I'm hoping that's part of 3.19. Do we know if any... And that's what we just talked about. Sketch therapy, thank you so much. Will we get to go fishing with you in game someday? So, it's an MMO, right, Star Citizen? So it has to have fishing. It definitely will have fishing because of that, right? So yes, we'll definitely do fishing competitions. I genuinely expect fishing in Star Citizen. It's partly a joke that MMOs always have fishing, but also true. Isn't the Pisces sort of Star Trek inspired? Lots of ships are inspired by lots of different sci-fi things. So, for example, the Mantis for me looks very Star Trek inspired. Why is Star Wars better than Star Trek? I think you got that wrong around. You enjoy whatever you enjoy. As long as you keep it in the bedroom or to the confines of your own home, you can watch Star Wars. I think that's fine. Right. I remember reading about hygiene implementation, so how exactly would that work? Probably pretty simply. So you've got sort of food and health, you've got sort of food and hydration, all that sort of jazz going on, yeah? You could also have a hygiene gauge, or sort of like you just sort of get dirty over time as part of like that sort of stuff, and then NPCs would just comment on it if you get to a certain level, and every so often you could either sort of use the facilities of your ship, so go into your bathroom, have a shower, use the toilet, whatever, and that would reduce your hygiene back to a more appropriate level, same as like washing or changing your armor. Yeah, pretty simple. I would expect. How am I doing? I'm doing all right. I'm just about to stop streaming though. But yeah, I'm doing a lot better. My diet's sort of now kicked in. Sort of I'm having porridge for breakfast. I'm having sort of more sensible things for lunch. Not eating too much. Not having any sugar anymore again. I find it quite easy to sort of switch off sugar. And then occasionally I have a quaffle, which is a croissant. a croissant, which has been basically mashed in a waffle iron with a load of ice cream. They are the best puddings. Say the best puddings. Chocolate brownie with good vanilla ice cream, potentially better. Oh, it's a bit of a fight. I have not watched Picard season 2 or 3 yet. It's swearing's not very Star Trekky though, is it? What's the over under on Inside Star Citizen's runtime? I say under 50 minutes. Yeah, so normally between what, 10 and 15 minutes at the moment. With the testing update mentioning that they may start testing 3.18.2 later today, does that mean that 3.18.1 is ready to go? So it doesn't require any more PTU testing. They're doing the load balance stuff and some internal testing and finishing off of that patch, then it will go live. Thanks for your content. When would data gameplay be in? So data, I talked about this a little bit earlier. Data is cargo, and data running gameplay could functionally be put in pretty easily, right? We've got some ships like the Herald and the Mech Star Runner that are appropriate for it, and you just effectively need a UI and the ability to put data into that UI and then be able to sell it somewhere or have it as part of a mission. I mean, you can even have it as like having to pick up USB sticks and things that will then add to your data supply. Effectively take a USB stick and then put it like in a drive, and then it sort of is absorbed or whatever by it. I think it's pretty simple. I think we'll see that later this year. Any other quick questions that I can answer before I... Speaking of diets, CIG mentioned that interiors will have restaurants and the some would be higher end. What would be the law of going into a restaurant rather than the vending machine? Role play, potential for some interesting missions there. Maybe you can find NPCs to help crew. Role play better. Could get some better buffs or something from the food, maybe. If you do any sort of food-based buffs and drink-based buffs, really you want them to be pretty minimal. They sort of do them already, so... do you know if you've been joining us in Manchester? I'm going to look to try and come to the Bar Citizen on the 8th of April. I will try and work that out after this weekend. After this weekend, I'll then go, is it viable? Is it possible? How long do I have to be on a train? Or if I can get a plane, great. So like train, it's going to be 6 hours for me each way. Really, pretty rough because I get travel anxiety. But I've not found the Pico Cave. I'm not sure if anyone else has. No, I have looked, and I have looked for other people that have looked for it, but I haven't tried to look for it in a couple of months, admittedly. How to fix the 40k error? Hopefully 3.18.1 should go live potentially for this weekend, if not early next weekend. I don't know, if not early next week. So I have to wait and see. Hopefully 3.18.1 puts the game in a significantly better state. 3.18.2 better. Steps towards 3.19. Someone said about something about best damn space scam ever. If only Star Citizen was a scam. It's the worst scam ever if it is, because they've basically gone, shall we pretend we've made a spaceship to go to the moon? Okay, how do we do that? Well, let's build a spaceship capable of going to the moon. I mean, they've got a game, they keep on expanding, and they're producing new content all the time. It's not as if they've run off with the money. If Chris Roberts had gone dark and run off with the money years ago, you go, scam. It's functionally not a scam. Yeah. Anyway, with that in mind, I am going to see who else is streaming. Who else is around? Normally I don't stream on Thursdays. As I said, I've got tomorrow off. I want to get that done. Who's this? I don't know who this guy is. I'm going to send you over to Super Mario Brothers because he's my beautiful boy. He does very similar content to me. But are you a fan of Astro Historian? Yeah. I mean, me and Berserker, Mr. Shelley get on pretty well. He's a good chap. He has been to me. I appear on his on the captain's table sometimes. Right. Perfect. we are going to give Super Mac Brothers some love. Thank you so much for watching today, guys. It's genuinely appreciated. If you got any feedback, please chuck it in there. Sort of send me an email at contact@boredgamer.co.uk. Yeah, there's a video that's about to go live. If it's not, it's already gone live. Oh god, let me sort that out. Right, video's gone live. I'll deal with that. Thank you very much for watching. You guys take care. I can hear my cat trying to get into my room.